everybody, and welcome back to Book Club. I just tried to make this video and I was almost done with it. And then my phone glitched out and it deleted the whole thing. So I'm making it again. This is not the sealed nectar. This is Shiva, and we're talking about Hinduism. Okay, so get ready, okay? Because I love Hinduism, okay? I don't know a whole lot about Shiva. This is the book I've been reading about Shiva. I'm like 7 chapters in, so we're going to cram Book Club style this book. But I know more about Hinduism through the Krishna perspective, okay? I've read this whole book. It's like 400 pages. I've read Bhagavad Gita. I've read a few other books about Krishna. And the temple that I attend frequently is a Krishna temple, okay? I've been to the Krishna temple every Saturday this month, hanging out with all your aunties. And I want to talk about Hinduism because I think it's a very misunderstood religion. Now, Hinduism is a very broad topic, okay? It spans a lot of different things, a lot of different regions, and there's a lot to get into. And it's kind of hard to figure out where are we going to start, so we need to start with some ground rules and some universal background knowledge about Hinduism, okay? The reason I keep saying Hinduism with air quotes is because saying Hinduism is like saying Middle East, okay? It's not really, it's a British term, okay, is what it is. White people messed up Hinduism, okay? They really messed up India, okay? And I need you guys to understand this, that white people, British colonizers, messed this all up, okay? And white people are the reason for like this big misunderstanding about Hinduism, okay? So let's get into it. Historically speaking, Hinduism began in the Indus Valley Civilization, okay? In the Indus Valley Civilization, alongside the Indus River in about 1000, 2000 BCE, okay? Now, in the Indus Valley Civilization, it is located in current-day Pakistan and like northern India, okay? I don't know a whole lot about this Indus Valley Civilization. I do know that they kind of migrated down into what is now known as India, which is also a British word, okay? But they kind of spread throughout the land, okay? Throughout India, pre-British people, we have like kind of geographical different regions of Hindu beliefs, okay? Different parts of India kind of worship different gods, kind of, okay? Some parts are really into Shiva, some parts of the country are really into Krishna, some parts are really into Ganesha, some parts are really into Shakti, which is divine feminine energy, and some parts kind of mix around, okay? Now, this makes a lot of sense because before British people got there, India was not one big country like it is today. It was just a lot of small kingdoms throughout the land. People were doing their own thing within each kingdom. And the British people came, it was a whole, they like combined it all, and it was a whole thing, okay? British people also tried to take every element of Hinduism that they learned about and they tried to mash it all together, and also they probably didn't really speak the language very well. So they kind of made some like not so correct assumptions, okay? Now, that is why when you get a lot of different people who are like Hindu, they will tell you different things because they're different. It's like saying Hinduism is like saying Native American religion. Like they're different, right? We have Hopis who do different things than Cherokees, right? Same thing. Shiva devotees are kind of different than Krishna devotees, okay? It's not like saying where a Shia is different than a Sunni, or it's like we're talking about a little bit different. We're talking about kind of different regions of it's kind of different, okay? Now, universally, one thing that all Hindus are going to agree on is the cycle of reincarnation, okay? Everything starts in this kind of holy trinity that there is, okay? There's creation, which is Brahma, who's also like the universal state of God, force, kind of. When we go all the way back, kind of like Brahma is the first thing that's introduced. Brahma is this like universal God state, okay? And then there's Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. And Shiva, the destroyer, it makes it sound like this guy is a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. Destruction is a natural part of life. Destruction leads into creation. It's a cycle, right? The way I like to think about it is a flower grows in the ground, that's creation, okay? Flower sucks water, sucks nutrients from the ground. It gives us oxygen. That's preservation, right? And the wintertime, the flower's going to shrivel up and die. That's destruction. And then it's going to be born again, okay? Destruction's not always a bad thing. We'll get into it later, okay? They think time works in a cycle. They think the timeline of the earth works in a cycle, which we'll get into that later. And they did, scientifically, they did predict the life cycle of the earth and the age of the earth in like 1000 BC, They did. They also think that life is a cycle. When we die, they think we're born again. It's not like you go to heaven or you go to hell, okay? Now, you can escape the cycle of reincarnation by achieving what is called moksha, okay? You can achieve moksha in different pathways depending on, like, what pathway you take. Typically, it's going to be with prayer to the Lord, devotional service, making good choices, following the whatever rules and guidelines to living a good, healthy life, staying free from materialism, and staying free from desire. Those are the main things to achieve moksha. Moksha is not heaven. It is not jhana. It is not a place you get to go and live the rest of your life of eternity in, like, happiness. No. Moksha is blissful non-existence, and it's becoming one with God, okay? So it's not like, I died, I made good choices, I'm going to jhana, this is lit, there's like a river of wine, and it's beautiful. Moksha is like, I cease to exist. I'm just in a constant state of bliss, and I am one with God. Okay? Similar, but not really. Okay? All right, here we go. This is the part where I think I'm going to lose y'all. Idols. Murti, as they're called. Okay. If you go to any Hindu temple, or if you look up Hinduism, you're going to see something like this. Okay? That's a murti. That's an idol. Idol. It's not an idol. And you don't call it a statue. That's murti. Or that's the deity. Those would be the terms that they would use. Okay? Here's Krishna. Okay? That's Krishna. Right there. This is the main Hindu god I've been exposed to. This is the temple I go to. Is a Krishna temple. Okay? Krishna devotees will tell you that Krishna is the ultimate supreme personality of Godhead, which means he is the ultimate example of God, okay? Now you're thinking to yourself, ultimate example of God, what are you talking about? That's why I can't do Hinduism. There's too many gods just like this. It doesn't make any sense. Let me explain it to you. They will tell you that God is a universal force, invisible, that nobody can see. Just like Muslims believe, just like Christians believe, just like pretty much everybody believes. God is a universal force that exists within all of us. It connects all of us to each other. It is bigger than ourselves. It is what keeps this earth going. It is what keeps us in the cycle of reincarnation. It is an invisible force that nobody can see or perceptualize. That sounds like kind of what I believe, right? But why do they have these idols, okay? Let me tell you. Hinduism was revealed to the 7 sages, okay? 7 sages, they're meditating way, way, way back in ancient India, 1000 BCE, right? They're meditating, and they have divine visions, okay? Some people will say that perhaps they were eating magic mushrooms. Wow, touched on for like 2 seconds in this book. I don't know the credibility of that, whether it is or not, okay? Now, if it is, they still invented a lot of things due to those visions that ended up being scientifically correct. We'll get into that later. But why the visuals, okay? Again, some people tell you different things. The main thought process is when the 7 sages had these beliefs, they were ready to just off themselves. They were like, hey, we figured it out. Goodbye. Buddha actually said the same thing. The guy who made Buddhism, Siddhartha, I don't know his full name. Same thing. He was like, I'm a KYS. And then he had the revelation of like, you need to spread this. Okay. How do you spread everything that and if you heard the creation story, you'd be like, how do you explain that to somebody? By this. They saw God when they had these revelations. They visually saw this. Okay. So they kind of created this to visually show people what we're talking about and to help tell the story. Okay. Now the thing is, most of what you're seeing here is symbolic, okay? All of the different murti you're going to see are different characteristics of God. It's not that they're all different gods, it's that they're different characteristics of God. But Krishna, according to Krishna devotees, is the ultimate example of God. He has every aspect of God. Some different characters that you'll hear about in Hinduism don't have every aspect. Krishna, he does. Murti are very symbolic. Krishna always has his flute, because he plays the flute, and music is big for Krishna, right? He has these flowers adorned around him because that's how you bless Krishna, with flowers, okay? His feet are usually always going to be out because it's always described about his lotus feet, his beautiful lotus feet. You would praise like his lotus feet, whatever, okay? Ganesha, he is always, his whole thing is knowledge, okay, which is why he's an elephant, okay? He has a broken tusk. It symbolizes something. I forget exactly what it symbolizes. Everything they hold is symbolic. Okay, Kali, she always got her sword because she's a warrior. She always got this head right here because she beheaded this guy. It's a big story, right? It's symbolic.